just make it bigger so that everybody should be able to see clearly. F5 LTM. So before starting, I would like to just introduce about what is F5 LTM. Okay, who are we? Like what we will teach. We will be going to talk about each and everything. Don't worry. So let us maybe start with the first slide. This slide is talking about F5 LTM. Now, when we are speaking about F5 LTM, what F5 LTM is? So let me say you, like there are different vendors available in the market. We have Cisco, and Cisco has lot of courses like CCNA is there, CCNP is there, CCIE is there. Then it would be in the different domains, either in the routing, switching, enterprise, security, wireless, data center, okay, and a lot of more domains. There is vendor Palo Alto. Palo Alto has their own courses probably, okay, security vendor. Then we have AWS. AWS, the cloud, we have different courses available. So in market, there are different vendor exist for different platforms. Similarly, let me say F5 Networks is a company which is a champion for your LB products and for your security product, for your DNS product, and a lot more. We will be going to talk about that into our slide, don't worry. But I just wanted to make the basic foundation. F5 Networks is the company name, okay? And when we are talking about company, F5 is a company. There are a couple of the products of this company. Like there is one product named as Big IP, a lot of products like Big IQ, and maybe a lot of other products. But when I will be gonna speak about F5 LTM ADC, this is one of the Big IP product. Big IP product. Let me tell you, Big IP product is not limited to the LTM only. If you have heard about GTM, the new name is DNS. Okay, that is a old name. So DNS is there, which is running in the market. Then if you have heard about ASM, currently it is known as Advanced WAF. So Advanced WAF, ASM is there. Then APM is there. ARM is there. AVR is there. So these are what? These are different modules. But let me tell you, when we will be come under the F5 world, okay, the very first thing what we need to learn about is probably start with F5 LTM. Then going forth, you can go with the DNS, you can go with the advanced WAF, and a lot of other technologies, okay, that is not an issue. But first, you should be aware about F5 LTM. Okay, so my name is Radhe Verma. I have 15 plus years of experience, and it is industry-based experience, not only the study. Okay, so I am an industry engineer, data architect, okay, security and network architect, and I would be teaching you throughout the F5 LTM, GTM, ASM, and other courses also. I teach the CCA Enterprise, okay, the security courses, and the automation courses, the SD-WAN courses, and a lot of other courses I used to teach. And people are getting benefited from more than 5 to 7 years for a lot of technologies. About 100 of people already learned from myself. Now, if I will talk about F5, F5 is really a robust technology, robust product from the F5 network. And you can see in the lot of data center deployments, there are lot of F5. You can see in the market also when you're going for the interview, you could see that F5 products interview is there. Like in the panel, if you are writing down that you have the knowledge about the F5, so it is just adding the icing on the cake. Now, what F5 do? If I will just speak in a single word, single word, it will help you to deliver. It will help you to deliver the application in a reliable, in a secure, or I will say in a optimized way. Optimized way. And I will let you know, like, without F5 and after F5, what are the changes? Probably in today's session, we will see end to end, like how it will be gonna change. But let me tell you, F5 LTM is not only the load balancer. It is something known as ADC, Application Delivery Controller. So we will be checking out that it is not only the load balancer, but it is known as Application Delivery Controller. So we will see like how ADC is different from the load balancer or from the typical load balancer. So that is the agenda of today's class. And I will be going through and I will try to give you more and more exposure what I could give with respect to the F5. So if we will see F5, let me tell you, F5 is bit like you can have F5 in the form of physical appliance. You can deploy the F5 on the VMs, okay, and I will say the virtual appliance. Or there are some chassis based hardware also come, which will get used in maybe where you required a lot extensive connections on the F5. Probably you need to make the VPC VDC kind of architecture, bit like in our Nexus. So you can use F5 bit like the same. Now, if I will talk about F5, you can see the slide is self-explanatory. It is intelligently managing the network traffic. Application are fast and available and secure. Let me come to this part and let me talk about one by one so that you people can able to understand what I am talking about. So let us say we have the clients. Okay, we have couple of the clients available over there, and these clients through the internet or through the intranet are coming into the data center and will access some of the web server. Let us say they are going to a web server. This web server is hosting one application, abc.com. Now, till this application is up, it will be gonna revert in a very good way. Let us say if this application server is down, but obvious, if this request will come, it will not be get completed and it will throw the error that, okay, resources are not available or maybe bit like that. What happens now? Maybe we can have, rather than one, we can have two, two web servers. Okay. Now, if we have two web servers, we need to see, like if clients are coming, they should be going by some way. Maybe there is a router or something like that. Okay. I'm just defining the LAN with like two wires, but you can just consider it like that. There is a switch in it. Let us say I am doing some kind of configuration over the router, although that is not a very good or very robust configuration, but let us say I did some configuration. Now there are two servers, server 1 and server 2. Again, clients are coming, request is coming over there, and request is getting fulfilled. That is all right. There is no issue. What happened after some time, server 1 stopped, or maybe server 2 stopped. If server 2 stopped, the clients which are going for the server 1, they can access the application. But the client which are going to the server 2, they will not have any kind of response. But obviously the response will not be there. And the reason is because server is not active. So this is an issue. Okay, our application is not running well. So what we can use is we can use something known as, I will be going to talk about F5 over here. So what what I am doing now, I am introducing one more layer. So these are the clients. Clients are coming through the web, maybe through the internet or through the internet anyway. And now they are coming to F5 first. After the F5, let us say there are a couple of the web servers behind the LAN. Okay. There are some of the web server 1, web server 2. Now, I will let you know in the classes like how to do this configuration, how to put the F5 in between. Okay. So web servers and F5, how we can use them. And by the way, there are two interfaces which I am using, one for the external network, one for the external network, okay, one for the internal network. Such kind of deployment is named as two-arm deployment. Maybe I will be gonna talk about the deployment part later on, but let me just tell you now what happened. Let me simulate the same thing. Okay. Clients are coming, accessing the application, going well, everything is okay. Server 1 and server 2 are up. Let us say after some time server 2 is down. If client is coming, F5 will be proactively monitoring backend web servers. So F5 is proactively monitoring web server. F5 will never send now any of the requests to the down server in any case. So all the requests will go to the server 1. And since all the requests are going to the server 1, the response will be through. It means our application will be always. Let me go to the slide, back to the slide. Okay. If you see the slide, what we are talking about, see, application is available. So, and it is secure. Maybe I will come to the secure, but is the availability part clear to you? If anybody has any doubt, please ask me. Otherwise, I will proceed. Available part is okay for everybody. Okay, I am treating your silence as yes, that there are no doubts. Let me proceed. Let me talk about something known as fast. Here we have written one word fast. Let me go with that word. Okay. Now, whenever there is some application traffic come, it can be UDP based and it can be TCP based. And believe me, 99% of the application are the TCP based only, right? And TCP is simple. It would be SYN, SYNAC, and then ACK. That is, we are aware, three-way handshake, what it will use, and then it is connection oriented protocol. Everybody of us should be aware about these things, which we are going through our CCNA days. And we should be aware that whenever some protocol is defined, there is something known as RFC. Okay. So our RFC will be there for any of the protocol you talk about, maybe the old protocol, BGP, OSPF, RIP, or maybe the new protocol, OMP, or maybe any protocol, VXLAN, or whatever name you take. Okay, everybody has their own RFC. But let me tell you, when we will talk about the TCP, so F5 products use their own TCP IP stack. Very important. They use their own TCP IP stack, and that is named as TCP Express. So TCP Express is their own TCP IP stack. What the people did, they changed the original RFC of TCP IP protocol. and they did a lot of improvement. With numerous improvement they have added on, extended the development of F5 to minimize the effect of congestion, to minimize the effect of congestion, okay, and maybe packet loss is also decreased a lot. So they have done a lot of improvements. Like if I will give you a couple of the examples, for high speed LAN, F5 TCP stack quickly expand the buffer size and detect how latency to manage the congestion. For low speed WAN, TCP IP stack detect the client speed and estimate the bandwidth to limit the packet loss and recovery in the case of drop packet. Okay. So let me tell you one more thing. If I will talk about F5 base, again, base of all of the vendors mainly is Linux and Unix. Okay. Now, if I will talk about F5 also based on Linux and Unix, and on the top, they have built their own architecture named as TMOS, Traffic Management Operating System. Let me write down. Traffic Management Operating System, TMOS. Now, let me tell you, either you are learning LTM, you are going with GTM, you are going with ASM, you are going with APM. The under, or maybe I will say the foremost operating system would be the same, TMOS. Under the TMOS, if you learn in the F5 LTM, okay, if you have the working of F5 LTM clear, you will be have very less time to grab the other modules for the F5. So that is your TMOS architecture for the F5. Now let me come back to the maybe slide, and I will ask you, I hope the fast is clear, the available is clear. Let me now talk about the secure, how it is adding the security. Okay, I'm just giving you the brief, guys. Anywhere if you feel like that you are not able to understand, or maybe if I am little bit fast, please stop me. I will try to explain again with different examples. So let me talk the security part, how it is secure. Whenever the clients are coming, but obviously we are aware, they will be using HTTPS. And when we are talking about S stands for secure. But obvious, when you wanted to have S, you should be having Ssl certificate. For Ssl certificate, you need to go to a CA, okay? And any of the certificate authority, you can go for the DigiCert, maybe Let's Encrypt, which is providing you the free certificate for 3 months, bit like the same, okay? You can go to any of certificate authority. What they will give, you will have something known as cert, and this client will be have the public key. This is bit like if I need to send some kind of message, let us say my message is hello, and it is sending over the internet. Anybody can poke in between and see that what is the message, and they can use it. That is not correct. That is the case of simple HTTP. But in case of HTTPS, let us say this message is now converted, maybe in some of the encryption message is used, and it is converted into some another word which does not make any sense. And this is something the work is done by HTTPS. So HTTPS is means for the encryption. Later on, I will tell you how to create the SSL certificate, how to create your own SSL certificate. Probably what is CSR, okay, certificate signing request, how to create the private key, and how to create your own SSL, how to export the SSL, and what is probably intermediate certificate, what is root certificate, how to use all of these certificate in one go in our SSL profile, or what is SSL profile maybe. We will be going to talk about these terms into our classes. Don't worry, we have a like 24 hours plus maybe 20, I will say 22 hours plus weekend basis. Okay, it would be the weekend basis. When I am saying weekend, it is India based weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 2 hours one day, 2 hours one day. So 4 hours per weekend. Probably you can say for 6 weekends, we will be gonna talk about FILTM. And we will be starting from the very scratch, to the advanced level, so that you can even deploy the FILTM into your environment. I will try to give you each and everything that you should not have any problem. And the reason why, because I am telling you, I will not be telling you the thing which we are able to see into the FI books only. But since I have 15 plus years of experience, I would be giving you all of the knowledge with respect to my experience. What are the do's, what are the don'ts, and maybe if there is some kind of troubleshooting call is going on, maybe some kind of P1, P2 or high priority calls are there, then what are the steps you need to go with? How you can prove no, this is not LTM issue, or this is not my side issue, maybe. Okay, in like corporate term, that okay, it's not my issue. How we can prove that? All of the tips and tricks I would be teaching throughout into the class. Okay, but what I was talking about, the security. Let us come back to the security. So for security, let me tell you one thing. F5 architecture is as such by default. Maybe there is a disclaimer. Okay, I will be going to talk about that later on. But by default, it is adhering full proxy architecture. Now, what is this full proxy architecture? If we will talk about full proxy architecture, means if clients are coming to the F5, and F5 there is a web server, the traffic is not going like that and from here to here. No, this is not full proxy. But how traffic will move? Traffic will end up on the F5, and F5 will initiate a request to the web server. So there are two sessions, not a single session. It's not going through the F5, but it's going to the F5. Let me just repeat my words. It's not going through. It's not going through, but it is going to. It's not going through, but it is going to. What means it's not going through the F5, but it is going to the F5. F5 is the endpoint. It is the endpoint of communication. And that is maybe a very simple term of the full proxy. It is not only F5, there are a lot of full proxy into the environment. Probably, I don't know if you have seen it or not yet, but if you have seen, that is good. F5 also adhere the full proxy. Now, since it adhere the full proxy, the very first use for the security purpose, let us say you have F5. Let us say we have different applications over there. Okay, maybe web server 1, web server 2, web server 3, web server 4, for different applications. abc.com, cde.com, abz.com, apm.com, anything. All of these keys, okay, the security keys. Remember, I talked about it will be having the public key, and it will be having the cert, and it will be doing the encryption. That encryption need to decrypt. Who will decrypt? This time F5 will decrypt, because F5 will be the single, or maybe I will say central repository for key management. For key management. Any doubts so far? Please ask. Otherwise, let me proceed further. Sol, are you getting this? Coco API? Any doubt, guys? Okay, API mentioning over the chat, no. Coco is mentioning no. Okay, Sol, is it clear to you also?
Yes.
Okay. So that is how it would be adhering the full proxy architecture, and we will be gonna talk about this maybe more. But obvious, if we will talk about F5 marketing, it is capturing the marketing a lot, okay? And you can see that all the big giants, about 6,500 companies, you can see that. And when I am mentioning these companies, these are the big giants, okay? Which are using the F5 into their data center. But obvious, it will increase the efficiency, high performance. How? Probably we will be going to talk about that, all of the things into our classes. And we can see that it is optimized the network. Always my like network would be or my application would be up, because if one of the application server is down, the request will be forwarded to another application server. Okay. So it is not doing only the load balancing, but it is doing a lot much more than the load balancing. Maybe let me first share with you the lab. Let me show you the lab. Let me just open the lab and show you. And by the way, all of you will get the lab also. Okay. Everybody who is available here will get the lab access once you register. So this is the lab. This is the NetMinion lab. Before explaining this lab, probably I would like to talk about F5 device has 4 ports available. 4 ports. And how these ports are divided? One is for management. One is for your HA connectivity. One is for your external traffic. One is for your internal traffic. Internal traffic, when I am saying going to the servers. External, when I am saying going to the clients, maybe, and PC. Management, out of band management, everybody should be aware. HA, used for high availability when we have more than 2 devices. So here, if you see, there are 2 F5 units. This is F5.1, this is F5.2. And you can see there are 4 ports. These 4 ports are management, external, internal, HA respectively. Similarly, over here, management, external, internal, and HA respectively. So these are the 4 ports, and we will be building HA also into our classes. Not only HA, but lot more than that. I will be gonna show you the application, course syllabus tour also. But it's all right. Let me first explain about it. So this is your ADC zone, application controller, delivery controller zone. This is our server form zone. Like we need to make the server up, and we need to see that how the logically, when this PC will come, it will go to the F5. From F5, it will go to the application server, not the direct. Logically, we will do the routing as such that you need to go through the F5. And don't worry, when you need to do it first time, we have the workbooks available. Okay. So for the first maybe configuration, if you see, we have already the workbook available. And through this workbook, you are aware that, okay, what kind of interface I need to use, what kind of subnet I need to use, what kind of IP address schema I need to use, what are the VLANs that I will be gonna create. If you will check, we are explaining each and everything from very, very small points like what are the commands, how you need to run the command, how you will be bringing up your devices up when you need to go and you need to log in into your own lab. So for creating your own lab, you need to make it the configuration done by your own. And that is a very good exposure. Believe me, lot of people understand a lot of things when they need to do these things over the lab. And the very best part is it is 24/7 available. You just need to right click and start this lab, and then just double click over here, and this the screen will available. Can you see this Linux is booting up? Very easy lab. So you can just right click and you can just take the console like Windows machine. If you wanted to go for the Windows machine, just double click over here. Okay, I have already console available. Let me show you. So here you can see these are these the console. If you see, I already opened the let me open the F5. So you could see I have the F5 available and I was doing the provisioning. Let me do the provisioning because this is somewhat for the ASM related. Let me do. Okay. So you can see this, there is F5 available, and with respect to F5, whatever things you need to replicate for your prod, maybe you can do everything in the lab. And that is the best part, that you can do the practical. Lot of practical you can perform over here in the lab. Okay, so that is one best part. Again, we are providing the things into the blog. Maybe if you will go to the blog NetMinion, there we are providing a lot of other blogs. Okay, like if we need to do the licensing and provisioning, how to do the licensing and provisioning, probably it would be useful into your environment also. You can see from there. Not this, if you will go to the netminion.net directly, and if I will show you under the course, this is big IP LTM. If you will just scroll down, download the syllabus. Okay, if you will download this syllabus, a file will get downloaded onto your PC. Okay, and you can open from there, and this file, if you will open, you can see the whole syllabus. In the syllabus, we are starting from the very basic installation and initial setup, which will be talking about what are the big IP LTM, what is the TMOS, what is the bash script, all of those things. We will be going to talk about load balancing algorithms. We will be going to talk about monitors. We will be going to talk about the virtual server, persistence, processing of the SSL traffic. What is NAT, SNAT? What are the I rules? I rules again. I rule is something which is a powerful tool of the F5 architecture, where you can modify the default behavior of F5. We will be going to talk about F5 high availability. I will be going to talk about the route domains or the partition also. Okay, it is an extra traffic topic, but I would be going to talk about it. I will be going to give you all of the troubleshooting skills, like how you can use the F5 into your environment when you are doing what kind of troubleshooting you can equip with, and you can do end-to-end configuration, as such the optimized configuration that we will be going to provide. Okay, so that is whole about the F5 LTM. Probably that is what like I would try to say you. Now facilities, if I will gonna cover about like what you will get, yes, for sure you will be getting a lot of facilities. The very first facility is you are not getting the okay, I don't want to give my knowledge, but yeah, since I am explaining about CCI enterprises syllabus, okay, and I am taking those kind of batch, when I will be gonna teach you, I will be gonna talk about the packet level. I will give you through like what kind of packet, from where to where it is going, how the F5 is handling those packets, what kind of troubleshooting is there, how you can monitor the packet based monitoring, that I would be gonna talk about. Second, so that is like I will be give you my full expertise. It's not like the newbie or the new people in the market who are teaching in this kind of we due to Corona, everybody is teaching now. Okay, so I am not the newbie. When I would be teaching you, I will be teaching you from the very basic to the scratch level to the advanced. Second, whatever I would be teaching, that would be get recorded. Recording you can see from our portal and through the app. You can download the app. Either you have the Android, either you have the Apple phone, whatever phone you have. Maybe you can just see those recordings from there. Third, you will be get the lab, and it is the very good point because you would be doing. Everybody has their own lab, and you have the exposure to do the things on your own. Okay. Fourth, you will get all of the material, whatever material is required. Okay, with respect to cracking your exam and production based conflicts. Then whatever interview questions are there, I will be gonna cover that because I am in the interview panel now approx 8+ years. So I would be gonna talk about that. Sixth, regarding the T-shoot, because as I am telling you that I am a working professional, I would be sharing my knowledge, like how you need to do the troubleshooting into your environment when it will be gonna come to you that, okay, there is a P1 or P2, something like that. Okay. 7, you can reach us anytime after the completion of batch also, and we will try to help you whatever you have the issues in the maybe in your environment, or maybe if there are some other issues. 8th point, you can join us anytime after this batch also. You need to pay only the minimal fees, okay, for the lab, and that's it. You can join. There is no rejoining fees again you need to pay us.